Kai and I went on a trip last winter to the East Coast just to visit people. You know, nothing special, no events. We just went and visited liquid dancers on the East Coast. Some were older heads, some were new school. And you know, on our trip, in a car ride, it's a long car ride, not driving. We were just talking about, man, whether it be on the forum or hearing about people, like we haven't heard about any newcomers coming up. Like really, just like a few years ago, we would have like, oh, every few months or so, like, oh, this new kid, you know, you hear about this guy, he's doing his thing with liquid or digits, and you know, he's gonna take it to a different level. But when we were talking about it in the car ride, we were like, dude, it's been a long time. It's been a while, and we're like, you know, what happened? And we were just talking about, you know, perspective. Being a forum, it's a lot harder to learn from, and even on the internet, there's not very much a stable source of information about liquid, a solid, reliable source. And you know, that's how a lot of people communicate these days, just through the internet, and that's how they learn, that's how they get exposed. So I think that was part of inspiration for it. I think part of myself was still, just personally, I still had that outreach through dance mentality, and I was hoping that, you know, God could just take the site somehow and use it to His glory. I don't know how He's gonna do it. Just praying that He will. And just being, I guess, internet generation dancer, I was truly exposed, I guess, to liquid. Not truly exposed, but first exposed to a large context of liquid on the internet, and that's, you know, that's a step to where I am today. And I think it'd be great if people could have that. You know, I mean, because Reflective was a great site, it was a great forum. I got a lot of help from people, and that's how I networked and met people. So, you know, I guess that's part of also like just trying to give back to the community, trying to give back to the dance. I think a big vision or a big concept I have for it is inspiration. You know, inspiration for newcomers to learn liquid and digits, so the art form doesn't die. Inspirations for old heads to come back and you know, to take up where they were again and lead us maybe, or to push the style further. Inspiration for you know, those guys who have kind of fallen off, the new school guys who kind of disappeared into woodworks, and to just come back and see, hey, you know, this dance is gonna go somewhere hopefully, but we need your help, you know. And inspiration for us to keep building on one another, you know, as we build this community. That's part of my vision too, that we'll have a community of dancers. It's not just the dance, you know. When you look at a painting in like a gallery, like Monet or Picasso, you can look at it and understand it for what it is. But once you learn about their life, it's like that painting is a whole. You see a painting on a whole other level. And I think with dancers, it's especially like that, since we are what we do with our bodies is who we are, and that is our art. Having that networking relationship with one another, I think that's one of the most important things as a dancer, is to meet other dancers and to understand what makes who they are and what makes who you are, and in turn, what makes your art and their art what it is. And going back, I guess, to that inspiration spiel, I'm hoping for kind of, I guess, inspiration for us liquid heads to also draw ideas from other dances and movements. But at the same time, you know, this website is about liquid and getting liquid out there. So I'm hoping that, you know, other dance styles will be inspired by liquid and be influenced by liquid, and they can take our art and they can use it in their art, and you know, so it's a two-way thing. You know, that's dance. You know, we create upon foundations that have been built. and even just inspiring people to do something. This website was one conversation, and we just went out and did it. And we have no idea where it's gonna go. We have no idea if it's gonna flop, if it's gonna be okay, or if people are gonna respond to it or not, or if it's just gonna die off in a few weeks. But just going out there and doing it just gave me an experience that was invaluable. And if it's used to make a difference in someone else's life, that's also invaluable. Inspiring people to go out there and just carpe diem kind of thing, I guess. Seize the day. And even for me personally, just as a follower of Christ, just hoping to inspire, whether you're a dancer or not, as a follower of Christ, just to use whatever you have to glorify Him, whatever you have to spread the gospel. Dance. Who thinks about that? Who thinks about you're using your workplace to glorify Him? That writing a memo can somehow glorify God if your heart is right in it. If your heart is worshipful in it. So I guess one word that sums up my vision is inspiration. I think lastly, I just want to give thanks to everyone who's helped make this project possible, the website possible. From all the older heads who laid down our foundation for this dance, and for the new heads who kept pushing and kept progressing and keeping this art alive. So and I would like to thank my God and my Savior, Jesus Christ, died upon the cross for my sins, so that I may be called His child, and for all those who believe, so that He also called me His own. Thank the Lord for allowing me this opportunity to worship Him in this way, I guess, and I'm just very thankful for everything that's happened so far. And it's my prayer that this website will touch every single one of you somehow, whether you've just come on here, just briefly went through it, or you're going to be an active participant in the site and the culture and this dance. So thanks again.